Let me now welcome on board Sridharan Rangarajan, the MD at Carborundum Universal, joining in on the show right now. Sridharan, great to have you on the show. How is it that you see your overall revenues and margins growth going forward? And where do you think FY25 is going to close in with?
I think we've done a good FY24, good profitable growth. We got a 10% PAT ratio. On back of this, we are looking at about 9 to 11% growth in FY25. And that's the guideline that we are looking at.
Abrasives and ceramics, we've seen, a margin uptick coming in this particular quarter. You think an uptick is sustainable? And what factors do you think are causing pressure when it comes to engineered ceramics industry?
Good. I think we expect the margins in abrasives as a whole could go up by 20 to 30 bips. This is what we are looking at going forward. 100 bips as far as abrasive is concerned. Company as a whole, 20 to 30 bips is what we are looking at. Ceramics, we could maintain the current 24.4% margin. As far as the question relating to engineered ceramics, I think we had a very soft last year, FY24, but FY25 looks really good. We have got a couple of orders on the defense industry as well as on some of the Photonis is one of the big company in France has given us an order. So that also has given us a hope that, we will do better in FY25 on engineered ceramics.
I'm just going to ask you a very simple question that could you just bring our viewers up to speed with how do you benefit with this entire manufacturing and private sector capex cycle starting? You are more like an ancillary company which would benefit if steel plants are expanding, if power plants are expanding, if manufacturing plants are expanding.
Yes.
How would you benefit? I mean, what service do you give them?
No, it's an absolute great question because we serve them if you look at a glass, tire, steel, etc. We serve them both in refractory as well as in ceramics, as well as in the abrasive. So all three segments we are in a position to serve this industrial growth. So that is where the uniqueness of CUMI is all about. I think any industrial growth really gives us a boost in all the three segments that we are in.
If the manufacturing sector is growing in, let's say, mid-20s, that's what private big companies are telling us, then shouldn't your growth be at least, if not higher, at par with what the manufacturing sector growth is? I mean, why should you not be growing at
Absolutely.
20% instead of 10?
Good. We are growing at 20%, I think, except for our Russia growth, where we are keeping the target same as this year. That's the reason the growth is coming down. Otherwise, if you really look at the growth in ceramics, growth in refractories, growth in electrominerals, in rest of the geographies, we are growing about 18 to 20%. This is where the reason why we are at 9 to 11%.
3,500 crore capex. Now that means it is 40-50% higher than what you'd earlier indicated. And 3,500 crore capex, isn't that large for a company of your size?
I'm not sure where you are picking this 1,000 crore capex from. We said this year we'll do about 300 crores of capex. FY24 we've done about 220 crores of capex. Our normal run rate of capex in the last 5 years about 190 crores per annum. So that's what we are doing it.
My number's wrong. Maybe a bit of a technical error here. And I think that is what I've got the sheet which captures a different number, and that's what struck me. Yeah. So I think we got it wrong. So thank you for that clarification. Even I wanted clarification on that. I'm glad we spoke about it.
We are doing two major projects. One is HP, high purity silicon carbide manufacturing in Cochin, which will be 6 tons per annum, which will go both into semiconductor industry as well as technical ceramics industry. That's the project one. And the project two major is we bought an asset from Germany from a company called Dronco, and that asset is getting relocated and housed it in India. And that is the second major project that we will do.
How much of your business is coming from what could be called as the new age verticals? typically solar, new manufacturing? I mean, how much is coming from business which earlier did not exist, now has come up after PLI schemes and after India has become a big leader in manufacturing?
So out of our industrial ceramic business, energy, which is the energy, when I call it energy, is the green energy area that we are doing, is more than 30% of industrial ceramic business comes from that industry. Then we are adding on top of that EV and also the defense sector, which I think eventually it will go more than 50% from the industrial ceramic side of it.
So if I have to, let's say, talk about Carborundum Universal, and what is the theme and what is the underlying tailwind for next 3 years, what would you say is the underlying tailwind? Where do you see growth is coming from? And do you think that your order books right now are full and they will continue to grow?
Yeah, so I think the tailwind for us in a couple of areas is that I feel ceramics needed for semiconductor fab manufacturing equipment, electric vehicle semiconductor use, sorry, ceramics used in electric vehicle will be the next growth area that we will have. Similarly, ceramics used in defense sector. We have already supplied 6 vehicles, armor to Tata companies. That will be the next growth area that we are looking at. So these are the growth drivers I think we will have in the next 3 years. Similarly, the growth driver from the Indian industrial infrastructure investment, both by the government as well as the private investment, will also steer the growth. Our order books are very healthy, and I think we are pretty confident about the next 3 years' growth.
Right. Okay, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.